20 plus advanced Marvel Rivals tips geared towards players who already know the basics and want to push their skills to the next level. Let's skip the small talk and jump right in. Tip 1 is perfect your off angles. Off angles are positions slightly away from where your team is grouped, taking an off angle. It splits the enemy's focus and positioning and forces them to decide between defending the main front or dealing with you on the flank. Use these angles carefully, don't go too far or you'll lose line of sight of your team. Tip 2 is track enemy cooldowns and ultimates. Top players keep mental notes of enemy abilities. If you see a key enemy ability used, like powerful crowd control, capitalise immediately and call it out on comms. Predict big ultimates by timing how often they've been in combat or how many kills/assists they've made. Communicate these cooldowns to your team so everyone knows when to push or back off. Tip 3 is learn map rotations, not just layouts. Basic positioning is important, but rotations are the next level. Identify faster or safer routes between key areas of the map. Rotate with your team before a fight erupts to catch enemies off guard, and choose paths that deny enemy line of sight so you can ambush or regroup without taking free damage. Tip 4 is bait and punish with intent. Advanced baiting goes beyond retreating after a feint. Use a small ability or partial commit to make the enemy believe you're engaging. Wait for them to blow crucial ultimates or cooldowns, then counter-attack with your own big plays. Maintain precise timing so your allies are ready to jump in the moment you've drawn out enemy resources. Tip 5 is focus fire for guaranteed picks. High level players know the importance of cleaning up kills efficiently. Coordinate on a single high priority target like an enemy DPS or support. Call out focus targets and follow through immediately. Avoid splitting damage across multiple targets if you can quickly secure a full elimination on just one. Tip 6 is master ultimate economy. Think of ultimates like currency. Monitor which ultimates your team has versus the enemy's potential ults. Layering too many big abilities in one fight can be a waste. Sometimes it's better to hold one ultimate for the next engagement if you're already winning a fight with fewer resources. Tip 7 is use micro spaces and micro movements. Pro level movement isn't just about AD left right spam. Subtle peeks around corners, small steps to break enemy line of sight, and micro moving can make you a harder target to hit. Combine random strafe patterns with brief stops so opponents overcompensate their aim. Tip 8 is pressure from multiple vectors. Engage from different angles simultaneously. If the enemy has to look in 2 or 3 directions at once, they're likely to panic or position poorly. Coordinate with a teammate or two to time flanks or long-range poke for maximum confusion. Tip 9 is identify win conditions early. Each match has specific factors that can tip the scales. If your comp thrives on burst damage, look for quick picks. If you're loaded with sustain and area denial, force the enemy into prolonged fights. Calling out your win condition to your team helps everyone focus on a cohesive strategy. Tip 10 is practice controlled aggression. Being aggressive doesn't mean rushing in blindly. Push when the enemy is down a hero or has used key ultimates and cooldowns. Relentless pressure is good, but only if you're not handing the enemy free kills. Find the balance between applying pressure and not overextending. Tip 11 is leverage high risk, high reward plays wisely. Sometimes big risks can yield huge rewards. Backcapping or ambushing squishy targets can swing momentum in your favour. Have an escape plan and only attempt high risk plays if your team knows how to support or follow up. Tip 12 is evolve your hero pool intelligently. Trying every hero is fun, but mastering a smaller pool can boost your rank faster. Have at least 2 or 3 go-to picks for each role or situation. Understand how these heroes synergize with each other and counter popular meta picks. Tip 13 is optimize communication shortcuts. Pro level comms are clear, concise and timely. Use short phrases like focus X, ult soon, enemy left. Practice your pro gamer comms. We speak faster when we're in gamer mode. Develop quick callouts for your team's combo. Combo in 3, 2, 1. Over communicating can be distracting though, so keep it tight and purposeful. Tip 14 is aim to deny enemy resources. Deny the enemy's chance to heal, regroup, or reposition. Control health pack locations or block them off. Interrupt or chase down enemies trying to regroup. Coordinate to punish stragglers and any hero that's out of position. Tip 15 is post-fight positioning. Winning a fight isn't just about kills, it's about what you do next. Push forward to secure choke points or better map control. Don't linger too long in the enemy spawn area without a plan, you risk getting counter-engaged. Tip 16 is tighten up your stagger game. Staggering enemies means preventing them from regrouping. If an enemy is alone and clearly doomed, use just enough resources to finish them off when you've wasted as much time as possible for the respawns. Delaying a kill by a few seconds can delay their respawn cycle, buying your team free time for objectives. Tip 17 is recognize and counter enemy strategies. Pay attention to patterns. If the opponent runs a strong dive comp, stick closer together or pick counter heroes that punish dives. If they bunker down, coordinate flanks or poke them out of position with ranged threats. Counter strategies can flip a seemingly unbalanced match. Tip 18 is adapting to each fight. Each team fight is its own puzzle. Change tactics mid-game if something isn't working. Swap heroes or reassign roles. Who's flanking, who's peeling, who's tanking to match the enemy's playstyle. Flexible adaptation is a hallmark of advanced players. Tip 19 is control the tempo of the match. Dictate how quickly or slowly engagements happen. Speed up the tempo when you have ult advantages or see the enemy is disorganised. Slow things down when you're at a disadvantage, letting your cooldowns or ultimates recharge. Tip 20 is embrace a no fear mindset but be smart. High level play sometimes requires bold moves. Trust your aim, trust your comms and go for that high impact elimination. Just remember that a fearless approach works best with awareness of cooldowns, positioning, and team backup. That's it for the advanced tips. I'll just go through all the old tips I did on the last video. These are your beginner tips for getting started, so keep your mindset positive. Even when the battle seems hopeless, staying chill and looking for small victories can turn the tide, or at least set you up for success in the next fight. The next tip is optimize your game settings, lower unneeded graphics to reduce lag, and adjust your mouse or controller sensitivity so aiming feels natural. Try mapping important abilities to controls that make sense in your head. The next one is have a reliable escape plan. If a fight turns into a 1v6, it's usually better to back out than to go down swinging. Look for cover, plan retreats, and stay near teammates who can assist in a pinch. Next tip is know your exits on every map. Familiarise yourself with shortcuts and health pack locations. This knowledge comes in clutch when you need a quick getaway or a fast heal. Next tip is focus on survival before chasing kills. A dead hero can't help the team. By staying alive longer, you can support pushes and defend your allies when they need you most. Next tip is team combos are game changers. Coordinate with teammates to line up ultimates or chain abilities. 2 or more well-timed attacks can wipe an entire enemy squad. Next tip is master map awareness. Keep an eye on where your allies are and anticipate where the enemies might rotate. If you see a teammate getting cornered, move in to help or create a distraction. Next tip is jumping can be risky. It might feel evasive, but skilled opponents will predict your landing. Mix up your movement with strafing, crouching, and sudden stops to be unpredictable. Next tip is time your ultimates wisely. Don't unleash everything when your team is down or out of position. Wait for a moment when allies can follow through for maximum impact. Next tip is fight for the high ground or the choke point. Better visibility and natural cover make it an ideal spot to control the flow of battle. If enemies push you off, consider rotating to another strong vantage point or choke point. The next tip is communicate with your team. Whether it's voice chat or text chat, call out threats, flankers and low health targets. Clear, calm communication often decides who wins crucial fights. Next tip, pick your targets carefully. Prioritise healers and high damage heroes or the player on the enemy team that's putting in the most work. If everyone focuses the same key enemy, you'll break the other team's backbone faster. Next tip is position yourself wisely. Use walls, corners and obstacles to block enemy fire. Smart positioning keeps you alive longer and lets you deal damage safely. Next tip is use body blocking and staggering to your advantage. Stand between fleeing enemies and their escape routes and disrupt opponents with well-timed hits to throw off their combos. Next tip is refine your movement. Quick side-to-side strafing makes you a tougher target. Add small pauses or unpredictable dodges to keep foes guessing. Next tip is bait opponents into wasting abilities. Feign engagement, pull back, then strike when their cooldowns are spent. Few things feel more satisfying than punishing an overcommitted enemy. Set up ergonomic controls that feel good to you. For example, my melee button is on my thumb button on my mouse and it just feels much faster. Next tip is don't focus on flashy solo plays if it risks your life. Work with the team to secure kills safely. It might look less dramatic, but it wins games far more consistently. Next tip is study top players and watch your own replays. Learning advanced tactics from pros can spark new ideas, and analysing your gameplay reveals mistakes you can fix. And finally, practice as much as you can. Familiarise yourself with different heroes, playstyles, and scenarios. Regular gameplay refines your decision making and sharpens your instincts. And then some bonus tips, let's keep going. Never forget to track health pack locations. Securing quick heals means more time in the fight and less downtime waiting to respawn. If you beat the 1v1 near the health pack, you get a massive advantage. And then finally, stay calm under pressure. A clear mind leads to better calls in hectic moments. If you're tilting, take a quick breath, go do a workout, go touch some grass, it's not worth getting mad over. That's all my tips for now. I always waffle through these, but do you know what I mean? They're getting views, yous like it, good response, so love you all. I made a game, it's called Battle Babes, it's on Steam, the winter sale's live right now. Play it if you want. Hasta la vista, peace.